If it is not working, just walk out.
Just walk out.
Just walk out. Simple as that. Now, away from that, Huda Monroe. Huda Monroe is apparently engaged. I didn't see the ring though. I just saw a guy, akiwa menil, you know, and yeah, she has gotten herself a Persian man. Congratulations to her. CG, by the way. I don't know if there's something she's about to launch or if it's actually true. Now, this is the thing with celebrities. Like, we can't even congratulate you, tukikuwa sure, ama tuko, you know, because we're not sure if there's something new you are about to launch. True. Is this really true? I didn't see the ring. I didn't really see the ring in the pictures that she posted. But congratulations to her. And all the best if it's actually real. Alafu, there's a new song that is making airwaves across the world, not just in Kenya or the continent, and the song is Mwaki. Hey, that song is fire. True. Unique, do you know it?
Yeah,
it has this EDM kind of sound, not even kind of sound, it has an EDM sound. Inaitwa Mwaki. It's been done by a Kenyan. The lady is called Sophia Nzao. Mwaki. It's a Kikuyu song, but iko na EDM, so it sounds really cool, and everyone has been reposting it all over the world, and it's actually the first Kenyan song to surpass 2.4 million streams on Spotify in less than a week. Less than a week, 2.4 million streams on Spotify. And I mean, I'm sure she's going to beat the record for East Africa. Kama in only a week, she had 2.4 million streams. And we are loving it. Just the fact that I'm seeing it all over, everyone reposting it from all over the world, just questioning, what language is this? What is this? It's, you know, it's fire. It's fire like that. You'll play it baadaye. Watu wajue tunaongelelea nyimbo gani. And then, international gospel artist Hillsong London has arrived in Kenya and is set to perform this weekend. So for the people who really love some praise and worship songs, Hillsong is in the country and will be performing, so better find ways of getting your tickets. And last but not least, we had a fan complaining. There's a fan who has tattooed herself and had this tattoo where he had the Brooklyn Boys logo and the slogan akajiandika Brooklyn Boys. Yani fan wa Brooklyn Boys zile kabisa. Ukiona mtu ameenda kajitattoo ati nimeandika hapa Unique the DJ.
Die Hard.
That's a Die Hard fan. But the fan was complaining because anasema they don't even recognize me. So this leads me to this question. When you're tattooing an artist, a celebrity's, a famous person's name on yourself, do you expect, are you doing it because you want them to see it? Are you doing it just out of love?
Now that's the problem.
Yeah.
You know, there's a reason why unajua ukitattoo somebody on your body, si lazima aone. It's for you.
Yeah.
Not for him, the person. Maybe he hata realize hata takuona. No?
Yeah.
So
you amekasirika kwa sababu why are you not recognizing me? Na mimi nimechora logo yenu, slogan, everything. Mbona hamni recognize? Okay, I mean, if Brooklyn have seen that huyo amefanya hivyo, at least they should just upload the person wakikuwa na gig wa mwache akam free, because mtu amekaa akachorwa. But don't do it with expectations. Yeah, ukiamua kuchora we chora and then we relax, because ukiandika akina Beyonce watakuonea wapi? So only that Brooklyn are here, so you expect they need to recognize you, they have to. Anyway, that is up to, I don't know what you feel about that story. When you tattoo someone's name, is it a must for them to like recognize you? And if they don't, do you cover up the tattoo? Actually, there's an option of covering it up. Anyway, that is all we had right here on our trending topics. But right now, we are going to dive straight into our first interview. And I will be joined, she's actually getting on set. Just come in, Cooper. I will be joined by the beautiful Cooper Rust. She's not new to this screens of Good Morning Kenya, especially Entertainment Thursday, because she's been here severally. She's been here a number of times, and she's here to talk about a new project today. Cooper, welcome to Good Morning Kenya.
Thank you so much for having me back, Vivian. It's an honor to be here.
Always a pleasure having you on set. Let's get straight into what you're here for. You're here for a play, a ballet.
A ballet.
Yes, a ballet play that should be happening. Just tell me about the Nutcracker.
So, well, it's new for this year. It's actually become part of the Kenyan calendar. It's our 9th year doing the Nutcracker here in Nairobi, and it's a ballet that will be performed over 2 weekends at the National Theatre to get us all in the holiday spirit. It's kind of crazy. November's here. It's time to get ready for Christmas and all the holidays, and Nutcracker is how we kick it off in the ballet world.
When you talk about ballet, now that you've been around in Kenya for a while, you know, doing ballet and teaching ballet, what do you feel is the reception of ballet in the country this far? Because it's not something that we were used to maybe years back.
Yeah, no,
it's something that is quite new in Kenya. So how is the reception?
It's been incredible. When we started, it was mostly, we had a bunch of expat students, children from around the world that are here in Nairobi because of the UN or the embassies or any of this, and then sponsored students, so children that we give scholarships to. But now, almost 10 years later, there's such a huge reception from middle-class Kenyans and just everybody. Everybody loves ballet. So we've got kids coming from all areas of Nairobi and sometimes even students coming from around the country to see the ballets. Everybody is feeling the ballet. The first year we did the Nutcracker at the National Theatre, we had 3 performances. So that was an audience of about 900 people. Now we present the show 9 times for paying audiences and then 1 show for underprivileged kids to come for free. So we do 10 performances now with an audience of nearly 3,000 people. So it's really gone from something that parents of the performers used to see to something that people just enjoy and want to get to the theater for.
There's a perception that ballet is for the rich.
Yes.
What do you say about that? Is it actually true?
Well, it's not even just the rich. It was also really thought of as something that Europeans and Americans did, and not, there wasn't really a place for African people in the ballet. And we've disproved that hugely. We've got incredible dancers now that have come from Dance Center Kenya, dancing in companies. Joel Kiyoko and Lavender Orisa went to English National Ballet School and then have danced in Chicago and now in Wisconsin. And we have Eugene Ochieng, who's now at the University of North Carolina School for the Arts. And we have these incredible Kenyans who are now breaking through. Carrie Yamane just and Eugene just went to Italy and won gold at an international ballet competition.
Wow.
And yeah, people, Kenya won gold. Like, yes, like the Kenyan ballet scene is
They're
just
used to Kenya winning gold in the marathon.
Running, yes, yeah. You're not gonna run. Like, no, we're gonna dance. And they were just so beautiful and brilliant. And Carrie's dancing the Dewdrop Fairy. Eugene is left now for the States, but Carrie, who just won, is here. And she'll be dancing one of the lead roles, so she's something not to miss now that she's just back from winning in Italy.
So we are demystifying that it's only for the rich, because we're seeing children from underprivileged, families also getting into ballet and learning ballet.
Absolutely.
And being absolutely spectacular at it.
Incredible. And I even love that it's at our school and in our company, it's such a mixture that one child might be coming from Brayburn or Brookhouse, and the other child is coming from Karen C, one of the government schools, and they dance together and they're best mates. And they don't care, because it's just who does the best pirouettes, who does the best, dancing, not whose parents have the most money. It just doesn't come into the studio. It's just who can sweat the most.
Yeah, and that's the thing with art, really. I feel like it just brings people together. It does not matter where you're from. It does not matter how you look like. It does not matter the color of your skin. It does not really matter when it comes to art. If you gel, you just gel.
If you're good, you're
get
good.
into the art. Yeah, if you're good, you're good. So that is something that is really, really nice about art. Don't you agree?
100%. I love that. And back to the Nutcracker, one of the special things is that we do it every year. So many of these kids, they were little mice, and then the next year they're a soldier, and then the next year they move up and they're an angel, and then they move up, and one day they're the Sugar Plum Fairy, the lead in the ballet. So even the Nutcracker plays into this long-term, them seeing themselves as artists and really being proud of what they're doing.
All right, that title, the Nutcracker, where did it originate from? Because I understand that this is a ballet dance that has been there for years, and when I say years, I mean years on end, from 1892, and it's always been happening. Like, people still do it. It's a tradition. So where did that term, maybe the Nutcracker, come from? Is there a nut that people are cracking on set?
So it even comes, the story comes from 1816. E.T.A. Hoffman wrote this story, The Nutcracker and the Mouse King. And the story is a little girl at Christmas, Clara, receives a Nutcracker doll. So this is a soldier-looking doll, but it cracks nuts. And she receives this doll. She falls asleep under the Christmas tree, and the doll grows and turns into a prince, basically. And after he fights the evil Rat King, the soldier mask goes away, and he does turn into a handsome prince, and he takes her to the land of the sweets. And it's a bit of a strange story, but it's a lovely story. They go and they see all the Spanish chocolate and Arabian coffee, and all these international performers dance for them. But then it turns out that she's just a little girl, and she wakes up, and it was just a dream. But her Nutcracker prince is what takes her. So that was in 1816 that it was written. And then in 1892 in Russia, it was first performed after Petipa choreographed it to Tchaikovsky's score.
Yeah.
So Tchaikovsky and Petipa wrote or produced some of the best ballets of all time: Swan Lake, Sleeping Beauty, and the Nutcracker. So that they were a dream team, Tchaikovsky the composer and Petipa the choreographer.
So the Nutcracker is a Christmas tradition in ballet. The same way that we normally have movies, that it's kind of a tradition. We have to watch these movies around the time of Christmas, you know, from the Home Alones. So
and Elf and The Grinch.
Yes.
And this is a lot like
for ballet.
For ballet. And it's not just for people that do ballet. This is your chance to come see the ballet, to get you in the Christmas spirit. A lot of business, I even have some good friends that are businessmen around Nairobi, and they say, like, oh, I can't wait to take my kids to see the Nutcracker. Not because they're dancers, but because it's good to go see the art and be a part of it and put you in the Christmas spirit.
And the fact that it's live, you know, it's different when we're watching the movies in the home, in our homes. This one is live. You're there, you're watching the kids as they do their thing. You know,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's live theater is always more exciting. Anything can happen. It's like sports. Watching it on TV is fun, but when you're in the arena, it's mind-blowing. You feel like you're part of it. And in the theater, you don't know what's going to happen. Somebody could fall, hopefully not. Somebody could do something extraordinary that's never been done before. You could be seeing here, especially in our shows, you might be seeing the next Mikhail Baryshnikov or famous dancer. So right now you get to see them at the National Theater, but they'll be in Europe in a week. You don't know. So it is really, being in the theater is a very special thing. And for young people, it's just the smells and the visuals and everything, it's very, very exciting.
Unique, do you know anything about ballet? I have ambushed you, yes. Do you know anything about ballet?
Ballet ni ile game the dance that sijui unafanya
they dance on their toes. Yeah.
I know it.
At least you know they dance on their toes.
And they have the big tutus, right? Like the big flat tutus. The
tutus, that's what they wear, and then the
and the men do the big lifts.
Yeah.
So like the men and big leaps and things. It's not just for the ladies. If you need to come to technique class, we have ballet class at Lavington Mall. You should.
But I don't think, can someone learn at this age? I think
absolutely.
Okay.
You might not end up being the most famous ballet dancer of all time, but you know, like it's like playing football or something. Like you could always pick it up
as a hobby.
As a hobby, sure, absolutely.
All right.
I mean, who am I to limit anybody? But yes, it's a great. We have adult ballet class all the time, and it's really fun. And you just come and laugh at yourself a bit because it is hard.
All right, let's take a break, and then when we come back, we'll get to know, for those of you who have never watched a ballet dance, where you will be able to go catch this particular one so that you at least be in the know. Let's take a break. All right, welcome back. We are back with Entertainment Thursday, and I was speaking to Cooper before we took that break. And Cooper, I have a question on, does size have anything to do with ballet? Because I'm imagining if there's lifting and, you know, some lifting happening, does size have anything to do with ballet? So can I come if I am a bit, you know?
Absolutely. One, it's a wonderful form of fitness. So there is a lot that can be gained from taking ballet. And pas de deux, which is the lifting of the girls by the men, that's really for advanced level ballet.
Is that it's called?
Pas de deux, the dance of two.
Pas de deux.
So yes, a step of two. So it's when the men and the women dance together. That doesn't happen until you've trained for many, many years. But there is a conception that you would be like the perfect size ballerina. And I am way too tall to be a ballerina, typically. But I had an amazing career. I danced for many companies throughout America. And it's one of those things like being a short basketball player. Like, you just have to be that much better. So yeah, and we, especially at Dance Center Kenya, really try to stay away from all of the negative stereotypes with body shape and all of that. Like, our dancers are healthy and they're just there to work. We're not there to talk about each other's size of any of their body parts. It's just how to be healthy and how to enjoy it. And with professional ballet companies, it's a little bit more particular, but we don't even have a professional ballet company here yet. I do have that dream for Kenya in the future. There's 2 companies in South Africa, so it's certainly possible to have companies, and we're on our way. But yeah, for students, I would never get involved with discussing that. And if there was someone who couldn't maybe do so much partnering, we just find a different solo part for them, and make sure that everybody always feels welcome and needed.
Like it should be. Like it should be.
Thank you. Yeah.
So how old are the children performing
My
on
goodness,
the Nutcracker?
The littlest one is 3. And that's when I started in the Nutcracker. I told you back in 1989 when I was 3 years old, I did my first Nutcracker. And so we have little tiny mice and cherub angels that are 3, 4, 5 years old. And then our eldest students are about 18. And I even have a good friend coming in from Turkey, a principal dancer, to do the male lead role. Ejit Irhan, he's coming in, and he's a professional principal in his 30s. So that's also something worth coming to see, as our guest artist who's flying in this weekend.
So it's one play, or is it divided into some sub-plays, or it's one play?
It's one story.
Yeah.
Tchaikovsky, who composed this ballet, actually didn't like the fact that he created it in a way that it is divided a bit. The second act, it doesn't flow like one piece of music. There's a Spanish dance, an Arabian dance, a Chinese dance, these dances, and they don't flow the way that other ballets do. You stop, you clap, you move on. So it feels a little bit more like a bit like a recital than Swan Lake or something like that. But now the public has loved it for almost 200 years. So even though Tchaikovsky, he didn't love it himself, people around the world, you can see Nutcracker in Korea, you can see Nutcracker in America, you can see Nutcracker in Kenya. It's everywhere, so it's very popular, even if the original writers didn't love it.
Okay. What will be different compared to the last one? You said this is the 9th edition in the country, in Kenya. If we look at the 8th edition, from how it went, what will be different maybe this time?
There was a big, before COVID, we had the full orchestra come, but with a lot of international support. So we had a guest conductor, guest violins, guests, for the 2 years before COVID. Then right after, we didn't have Nutcracker for COVID, which was the only year in my life that I wasn't involved in the Nutcracker.
Since 1989.
Since I was 3. And, but now, last year we were able to bring the full orchestra back, and it was nearly all Kenyan. But this year, Levi Wataka, our conductor from here in Nairobi, who works with the Safari Com Youth Orchestra, the Nairobi Orchestra, he is the man. He's conducting for us, and it is a fully Kenyan orchestra. And so that's 32 musicians who have come together, just to have a live orchestra play for the ballet is exceptional. A lot of people just use a recording, but so I think the orchestra is one of the biggest draws. Additionally, we have a brand new backdrop that this is a painting that our backdrops they go all the way across the back of the theater. So you have to think about 15 meters by 9-10 meter painting for the second act. So we've used the same backdrop since 2016. So this is a big piece of art that's being introduced. And then we haven't had a guest artist come to perform the lead male role in many years, since I think 2019. So having this guy come in from Turkey is very exciting. I mean, it's just, there's lots of little things also. One of my kids, one of my sons said, there's a maid in the first act that cleans up, and he asked, he's like, could she have a boyfriend? Could there be a butler? And so we've added a new little character in the first act of the butler. I call it Francis's butler because it was my son Francis who came up with the idea. But it's always changing and evolving and just getting better.
All right. I want you to take the time to look at your camera and invite people to come for the ballet show that will be happening. Tell us where it's happening, what days, what time. Invite them.
So, Dance Center Kenya is presenting the Nutcracker at the Kenya National Theatre 1 week from tomorrow. It opens Friday, November 24th. We have that first evening show. We have 2 shows on Saturday, the 25th, 2 shows on Sunday, the 26th, and all of the next weekend, 2 shows on December 2nd and 2 shows on December 3rd. December 2nd is going to be an extra special performance that evening at 7 o'clock is the gala event. If you want those tickets, it includes a welcome drink and appetizers and a big cocktail party to begin with. So that is a night to get dressed, go on a date, take your girl to the ballet. She'll be very impressed. And just get the Christmas season started. There's a moment for adults, there's moments for children. It is a lovely ballet, and it will be one of the last shows at the National Theatre before renovations. So the theater's closing. You need to get to the theater before it closes for the beginning of next year and see the Nutcracker.
All right, thank you. And as she has said, this will actually be the perfect date. You know, if you take a girl for their first date to a ballet show, standards, you will have set your standards. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And all the best on the show. I hope to come.
You'll be there.
At least one.
Gotta be.
All right. We'll take a short break right now, a short musical break, but don't you go too far. Entertainment Thursday gets to continue.